Hey, Knight. Welcome, welcome. It's time for one of those nights again, where we are chilling out, having a good time, just relaxing, you know. Hey, boss. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? We are chilling. We are chatting. It's gonna be one of those nights tonight, you know? Get a coffee, stay up a little bit longer than need be. Enjoy ourselves. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Share the stream. Bring your friends, bring your family, all that kind of stuff. I am sick again, but I'm going better than last week. Well, you got most of that sentence right. And by the way, it's doing. And there's an A instead of an E on the then. Because you are comparing stuff. Don't worry, I fucked this up too, so like I had to learn. The English language is stupid. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Having a chill paint night here, kicking myself about missing most of the Eldari pre-orders, but it's been a good day. Yeah, my brother wasn't able to buy himself a Eldar Codex, so I just said, like, I'll buy it. I was so close to getting the fucking, I was so close to getting the, special edition for my brother. But then the site had to fuck up. So I got stuck with a regular one. Those pre-orders go fast. Oh, yeah. Shit hurts. Also painted camo on a car skin. Ooh. Have fun with that. Yeah, because Fukin and the Fire Dragons are bullshit. Like, you kidding me? Hey, Clam. Like, they're good. Why wouldn't they sell out? Right? And those two don't even know that they could just hop on in here. They have the permissions to hop in here, but they don't hop in here. Loved your Halo 2 stream with Spee. I'm glad. I did upload the Halo Reach fully edited video today, so hopefully people like and share that a lot. Hopefully.
So hi, boss.
Hello. You guys realize that like you could come in here whenever, right?
Yeah, it feels odd when like unless you say like when you're streaming like that. That's like cool.
If it's a chat stream,
That's fair. Painting so many Ys.
yeah, it's just a simple like chill chat stream, answering questions, that kind of thing. Just having a chill night,
So
you know.
I watched a battle report with
Oh.
the new Eldar Codex. With the new Eldar Codex.
How fucked is it? How fucked?
It looks fun. It looks extremely heavy mental load.
Oh, like how many charts do you have to remember?
This person was it was remembering all of the battle focus abilities, and then on top of that, all of the different aspect powers.
Oh fuck, right? Yeah, the aspect shards have powers too now, right?
Yeah, like and then how the Phoenix Lords interact with that, because the Phoenix Lords power up your aspect warriors. I'm also only slightly annoyed that the Wraithguard got a better Votan detachment than the Votan.
Ooh. Again, I haven't seen anything, so like my brother said like I can use the codex that I bought for him to look for like a stream night, so.
So like Wraithguard basically have grudge tokens.
Why? They don't need it!
If you kill a Psyker in the Wraithguard detachment, they hate the unit that did it.
Why?
Because they're protecting the living.
Fight for the living, kill for the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the character who you hate the most? For me, is Herman von Strab. You hate sideshow? You hate a sideshow character, dude? That takes some fucking hate. I hate Lorgar. I have not found one person that likes Lorgar to date. Like, yeah, you can hate your.
Like Lorgar.
You can hate Herman von Strab. He's such a fucking side character, it hurts. Like, what does Herman von Strab do? He's basically Donald Trump before Donald Trump. That's basically it. That's all he is. And then he gets shot. Like... Ooh. Ooh. What does he really do? Like, my hatred for Lorgar comes down to, like, a hatred of hypocrites. And, like, just straight up man-children that can't take responsibility for their actions. Because that's what Lorgar is.
Oh yeah, Lorgar, like, absolutely knows that, like, Eidolon and, Erebus are playing him. Like, he knows they're doing it. He is smarter than they are. And he lets them do it because it gives him plausible deniability for what he actually wants to do.
He's a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. He is someone who...
Smell you.
Hey, T-Com. He is someone that genuinely, he has to have something above himself to blame. He cannot be at fault, or he throws a fucking temper tantrum.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people think that way.
Oh, yeah, and do you think I like them? Like, I can get why a child does it, because children are scared of repercussions. I get why children do it. But Lorgar is a fully grown-ass Primarch.
He's an interesting critique of, I think, a fundamentalist worldview.
Oh yeah, he very much is.
Which is, like, kind of cool about it.
I'm a chill
my
person.
personal one is... I think I said this on the Discord. I think my personal one is actually Erebus, because it's not that he does the worst things in the universe, it's that he never actually pays for it.
Yeah, he's the asshole who keeps getting away with it.
And like, the writers seem to think it's funny, and it's like, at this point, the things he does don't have any weight because it's like, well, okay, well that's just his. It's just him having plot armor. You know,
it very much is. It's why I like the Word Bearers as a legion, but I do not like their characters unless it's Argyle Tall.
Yeah,
it's
everyone loves Argyle Tall.
Yeah, everyone likes Argyle. Actually, is it Argyle or Argel?
I always read it as Argyle.
I believe the audiobooks say Argyle.
Okay, because like I heard Adeptus Ridiculous call him Argyle, and I'm just
I mean,
like,
that being said, the way the guy in the audiobook says Abaddon's name throws me like every time.
how does he say it?
Izakyle.
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 And the thing is, like, apparently, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the writers, because, Chris Peaches talked about this. They made because when they had to do Warhammer TV, they made a file on the servers at Games Workshop, which is how you pronounce all these names. Like how we are canonical. This is why we got, Rabute Gilliman.
Yeah, because they
instead of Rabut Gilliman, which is what he should be called.
Yeah, they're using the French pronunciation for it.
Yeah. But like,
which coincidentally, by the way, is how my dad kept saying his name.
Mm-hmm. And what that says is that the way you pronounce it is Abaddon.
Yeah.
Because it's a pun in the Midlands. Because he is a bad un. He is a bad one.
Yep.
Like that's the
low-hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
God, me and my wife, we I'm starting to try out like watching trash anime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh, it is. We're starting with like the girlfriends that really, 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 really love you. And I'm just like, wow, there's such low-hanging fruit here, it hurts. And I just like, I don't know what to do about that. But either way, yeah, so everyone, if you have a question about Warhammer 40k, or Halo, or anything else really, please feel free to ask. You are more than welcome to ask. Or like any other things, like Mega Man.
I was gonna say I can also do Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, Will here is the reason why I gave Will and brother Cambrius, I don't know if he'll ever come back on. I know he's like a really busy dude. The reason why I gave Will a role in my server, which allows him to come into the broadcast room, is because he has the experience, he has the know-how, and the evidence to back it up. And he knows way more about fantasy than I ever will. My fantasy knowledge comes down to whatever Total War Warhammer tells me and whatever I'm told to research.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that just becomes me spouting back a summarized detail of events that I have to somehow break down. For Will, he was actually present for all these different things that happen in fantasy, whereas I was present for a lot of 40k's life, starting from 5th edition onward. Yeah. So I prefer to have that experience in that voice than trying to like give my account.
For the record, that's like things that happened in fantasy from about 1999. Like I wasn't playing a lot of mid-90s Warhammer Fantasy because that was kind of impenetrable.
Yeah, that was, from what I looked at, it's a wall.
It's great. It's like
Ooh, Steam God, thank you for the sub.
A lot of it's like defining. Like a lot of it's actually defining the setting.
Yeah.
Like the undead went from being the undead to being the vampire counts and also the Tomb Kings.
Hold on. I just need to, like, we are answering questions here, so. Did I say anything? I did say anything. Also, hello, Steam Goth. Do you think when the Lion reunites with the First on the Rock, he will use the Dreadwing and send them out with the Men of Steel? No. The Dreadwing does not exist anymore. Like, that company...
There's no need for it.
There's no need for it. Like, the Dark Angels only have... Like, all the different Dark Angels wings were separated off into their chapters, basically. So, like, the Dreadwing... I don't remember which chapter the Dreadwing became, but they became their own chapter.
Star Phantoms.
Star
Phantoms.
Phantoms? Oh, that explains everything, especially about, like, how they fucking hate the Dark Angels.
Uh-huh.
The Dreadwing... Yeah, no, the Dreadwing does not exist.
The Dreadwing's the one... The Dreadwing's the one with the symbol as the hourglass, right?
Yeah. I think
yeah,
so.
it's the Star Phantoms. Because one of the other ones is the Fire Wing. It's either the Dreadwing or the Fire Wing, I can't remember. Fire Wing became constant.
Yeah, they're the Star Phantoms. They do have the hourglass and the pokey circle. But yeah, Lionel Johnson's already reunited with the Dark Angels. Last time we saw them, they were chasing after Vashnor. What are they doing now? I don't know. They'll probably end up in Imperial Nihilus somewhere.
I think they've said the Dark Angels are securing the Lion, sort of like little cluster of systems. Like, so they're building like a mini Ultramar, like on the far side of Imperial Nihilus.
Good job, boys. Making your own Knights of Camelot.
There's no way this can go wrong.
No.
What do you think of the turnout of Reach would be if Master Chief was there? He was there. Oh, okay.
Him and all the other Spartan 2s were there. They were,
I get
Red Team.
I get the confusion. So, for those that don't know, I talked about this plenty, and I made a video on it. Bungie tried to retcon the events of the book Fall of Reach. But then Bungie let go of Halo and gave it to Microsoft whole hog, because they're just like, nah, we don't want to make any more Halo games. So Microsoft then told 343 Industries, make this work. So the events of the book and the game are canon. It's just that the book was... You know what? This is a retcon. This does count as a retcon. So the book was retconned, so that way the plot of Halo Reach could happen, where the Spartan 2s were kept in the dark about the invasion of Reach. Because the invasion of Reach, for the first bit of it, was kept to the Vieri territory, which was the more rocky plains of Reach. And it wasn't until the fall of Reach in the book begins where the Spartan 2s learn about it, which is like days before.
Well, also in the book, Reach fell in a day.
Yeah, in the book,
it
didn't
just
even fall in
work.
a day. It fell in a few hours.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody of something, is that this is why I like the Halo books a lot. They give context. Because by the way Bungie described the Covenant, by all accounts, we should have lost.
Yeah.
Like,
the way they described it is that we were only fighting a single fleet. The UNSC was only fighting a single fleet.
Yeah, and we were losing every engagement. In the Fall of Reach, we get our first win in that book. And it took the sacrifice of a ship that fixes other ships to give us that win. And
like, they still lost like 20 ships.
yeah, it's Chief being present on Reach would not have changed the outcome. Chief is not that, like, this is what makes video games so hard as a medium to really show how powerful a character is, or like how powerful an enemy is. Because you get it in your head that, like, oh, this character can do this, but then you read the books and he gets fucking nailed in the shoulder and he's out for like a few chapters. It's the problem of the medium trying to explain the story. And the books, like Halo: The Fall of Reach, before it was changed, the book came first, by the way. I want to make that abundantly clear. The book Halo: The Fall of Reach came out before Halo was released for Xbox, the launch title. The Covenant in Fall of Reach, the first time the UNSC encounters them, we have a Halcyon-class cruiser, the Pillar of Autumn-sized ship, go up against a ship that's smaller than a Corvette. And we lose. Like, we straight up lose. The only solution that Chief and the Spartans, who are, by the way, 15 years old at the time, could come up with was put a nuke on it and run. Like that,
Which became their strategy for most of the war.
Exactly. That is not a sustainable strategy. Chief being present on Reach would not have changed the outcome. It's actually stated in the book.
At the end of the day, the Spartans are still human.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're still human. They're still going to get.
They're
torched.
They're not Space Marines. They're human.
Yeah.
And also, like, in First Strike, which, for those of you who don't know, is the book that covers basically how Chief and Sergeant Johnson and a few other Marines get back to Earth after the events of Halo 1. He has some time to sit down and he thinks about what he could have done, what the Spartans could have done to save Reach, because it was his home. That's where he grew up, so he has a lot of emotional attachment to it. And he's sitting there for days trying to think of all the different strategies, and every time he's like, there's no way. Nothing we could have done would have affected anything.
And I want to make it abundantly clear that during the events of Halo 1 and 2, Halo 1, the only reason the Covenant do not shit stomp us into the ground, because they had the full power to do that, is explained in Halo the Flood, because this is background detail that Chief would not know about, which is why I like Halo the Flood. It explains that Thelvadamy, Arbiter, who's in control of that fleet, was basically just like, yeah, no, stomp them out. I do not care. Like, he finds out, they set up on essentially a, what's it called again? What's it called again? Like, the Las Vegas area,
Plateau.
like those, plateau. Essentially, the UNSC, like, the Marines and survivors of the Pillar of Autumn set up on a plateau, and Arbiter's just like, glass them, they're sitting right there. And he gets countermanded by a priest who walks in and says, you can't fire on the ring, that's holy ground. And Arbiter's just like, I could give less of a fuck. It's desecrated soil anyway. And they get into an argument, and they try to get communication to High Charity to see who has authority there, but Arbiter's hands are tied until that communication went through. So, Halo 1 lasts 3 days. By all accounts, we should have been steamrolled. It's just Covenant politics got in the way. And then the Flood popped up.
Well, also, if I remember correctly from the Flood, it's been about 10 years since I've read it, so don't
I reread
take
it recently.
my word as gospel. If I also remember correctly, in the plateau, the specific area that the UNSC set up is a Forerunner structure. It's a building.
It's both.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those buildings from like it's that like tower thing from like the first mission on the ring.
Yeah, it shoots out energy and
But
shit.
it's like on a flat mesa.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2, the reason why like Chief doesn't get like Chief and in Amber Clad don't get fucking steamrolled again is because the Covenant could care less. What is one frigate of maybe like 200 people going to do? Like, High Charity's on its way anyway. They were overconfident. That's why.
Also, I don't know if 343 changed the lore. They didn't know that it was Earth was the homeworld.
Yeah, no, that one that they kept that. They
Okay.
they actually showed how Regret found out about Earth. That they actually expanded upon that.
Okay.
Basically like 10 systems away, Regret and his fleet, well, part of his fleet, found a luminary that basically pointed them in the direction of the Arc portal, and he's just like, oh, it's this planet's name, and they use like the Forerunner name for Earth.
Yeah.
And
And remember, that was just a few ships, and they decimate all of Earth's defenses, basically.
15 ships,
Yeah.
2 capital, and they fuck us up. And that was a mistake. And this is like, I love Halo. I will fight for Halo. I defend Halo a lot. This is like part of the thing where it's just like, gameplay does not dictate story. And if like this is just like trying to make something make sense in your head. Because like
there's no way that war should have lasted 25 years.
it really shouldn't have. Like this is like 40K's problem. They'll say like, oh, 2 million Imperial Guard troopers died. What was the casualty rate of Stalingrad again?
I can look. I've Google right in front of me. I can look that up. Are you looking for overall, both German and
Yes,
Soviets,
like,
or
overall?
who died at Stalingrad?
While you do that, which faction interests you the most? Slaves to Darkness, Cruel Boys, and Sylvaneth.
Okay, so confirmed casualties is 1.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Civilians is unknown but estimated over 500,000. And there is a total of 2 million missing.
Yeah, so like
So
when 40K says like 2 million died, that's like a Stalingrad. We've seen those numbers before. That's not new to humanity. Like, don't get me wrong, still fucked up, but like GW doesn't know numbers. It really doesn't. Just like how Bungie didn't know numbers. Like, people asked, hey, what's the military calendar for Reach? It should be that. They gave Reach in Earth time. Which makes no sense for A, its positioning towards its celestial body, and B, Reach is twice the size of Earth.
I think, if I remember correctly, it's like 40 hours is a day.
No, it's 26. It's a 26-hour clock on Reach.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a 26-hour
It's
clock.
twice the size of Earth.
Yeah.
That
Again.
it would be spinning so fast.
Oh yeah. Is the
God,
French
if they had-
version the Gravemind? It's called Forcier, which it means gravedigger in French. Cool. By the way, no one spoil that for Spee. I want Spee to go into that blind as a bat. I want just as much as a natural reaction from her as she saw the tentacles yesterday. Because she's just like, announcer, why is there hentai in a Halo game? And now my brain's like running in like a million different directions. It's running a million different directions because now I'm like, oh no, this thing is based off of the fucking vegetable plant monster from Creepy House of Horrors. Like, what is her reaction to this going to be? Is she gonna be like mortified by what she sees? Or is she gonna be like, hello, sailor? I hope it's mortified. I am praying it's mortification. Especially like after I explain it. But
Also, Halo is 21 years old now.
don't remind
Stop.
me.
Stop.
Halo 2 came out in 2004, which is 21 years ago.
Yep.
Ah.
We're old. We're old. I'm 26, gonna be 27 next week.
I'm turning 30 soon.
Oh, you poor bastard. What
I
did you
don't
do
like
to
it.
my bed? What did you do? 30 years old, I took your bending away.
Oh, that's already gone.
I'm
The
25
military
this year.
took that long ago.
Whereas I'm closing in on 40. That's fun. Yeah.
You can't just go around killing rich people and expect them to solve expect that to solve all the world's problems. Well, first of all, through guillotines, all things are possible. So just jot that down. Anyway, Piers
Through
down
violence,
the
all
hole.
things are possible.
Oh no! Hi, Spee! Hi, Spee! Hi, Spee! How you doing? Is it morning for you? What time is
Let's
it over
immediately
in the
stop
UK?
talking. Let's immediately. It is 20 minutes past 1 in the morning.
Girl,
Go to
it is
sleep.
late for you.
Go to sleep.
What are you doing? What are you doing up?
Yeah.
Not
Go to
saying
sleep,
not
Joel.
saying like I'm not happy to see you. I'm always happy to see my friend and my boss. Which, by the way, I forgot that I never sent you an invite into my server. Like, what the shit, me. Also, Aramis, I love you, but you've been so like we have a mod chat, everybody, so like we can like have meetings and discuss stuff. Aramis has been posting in the fucking mod chats, his time at Magfest. And I'm like, you beautiful bastard, I love you, but fuck you. You were a good lad. I love you. You were a good bean. I enjoy you very much, Aramis, but god damn it, I am a jealous bitch. Hey, night. Make me sleep. I can talk to your
Don't.
boyfriend. I can message your boyfriend. Me
Don't.
and him have a rapport now. Me and him have a rapport.
Don't make threats I will follow up on.
Don't ask the time, E. Yeah.
I have
By
money.
the way, Spirals, I gave you access to come into a special into the broadcast room that I'm using. You basically have permission to do whatever you want in the server that's not murder or kidnapping my minions.
But murder is my favorite activity.
Yeah, but it's illegal and we can't do it.
It's only illegal if the police find out.
Well, I don't
And
have
it's
sulfuric
only
acid.
illegal. It's only illegal when we're not in international wars.
Come on,
Well,
someone
that's still
from the
illegal.
UK and currently drinking a cup of coffee that had like 3 teaspoons of coffee granolas in it. Can I foil them? If they give you permission, you can.
A funny bit of maritime law for you. If you're on a ship and commit a murder, international law does not apply. It's the laws of whatever nation that ship is registered to.
Yeah, I
What if it's
remember.
an
I remember that
unregistered
one.
ship?
Then that's illegal and will be impounded the next time it makes port.
Yes, but the murder was not illegal.
That's
I knew that one. Thank you, Brooklyn 99. I remember that one because of the honeymoon episode. That's funny shit. That is crazy. Oh yeah,
that's not how murder works.
the ocean is wild, dude. Fun fact: we haven't even explored 80% of our ocean.
I say we stop. Based off what
you
we've
don't
found
want to
so far.
unleash the absolute horrors down there? My friend Viara lives down there. She is sealed
No.
away.
Nope. I say we need to give NASA the U.S. military's budget and get the fuck out of here.
You know
Get as
what?
far away
Isn't
from
it-
the ocean as possible.
How?
Like, this is the thing. Like, at this point, if we were to unleash the Great Cthulhu upon the rest of the world, or like upon like the world,
Would it really be that
I
bad?
think people can comprehend a giant squid.
Yeah. I
Like-
think what's so terrifying about a giant squid? Genuinely.
It's basically just a kaiju at that point.
Like, you know what? That's actually a really good point that I want to bring up about fucking what's his face? H.P. Lovecraft. All of his horror is just like, I don't understand how AC works. I don't understand how different small towns can have their own cultures. How dare you?
Oh yeah, no.
My-
It's just basically couch racism.
My favorite. Oh no, H.P. Lovecraft was super racist.
Oh yeah. Like even
my
for the time,
favorite
and was
short-
called out by other writers at the time.
Yeah, my favorite short story from him is there's a family of people that got cursed by a wizard, and the wizard that cursed them basically said, "Hey, the firstborn son of every generation will die by 30." And that keeps happening until we get to the short story's protagonist, who discovers it's not a spell. The wizard is just breaking into our house and murdering him.
It's. I want to point this out to everybody. It's like, what's the existential horror of H.P. Lovecraft's monsters? They're just big and ugly. Oh no! Some dust in my eyes. This is the worst.
Like some of them are like genuinely interesting, like concepts, like as like a like if like it's that thing of like if the world actually operated this way, that would actually be genuinely terrifying, kind of thing. And like the stories are like the Dunwich Horror is like a good example of this, which is like or like like Terror of Innsmouth and things like that.
Which
like,
is
it's that, which is
How's it-
like what's that?
Oh, I said I was about to say the Dunwich Horror is referenced heavily in the Fallout series.
Oh
Yes. And also Terror of Innsmouth as well. Because like Innsmouth's like a really good example of that, because it is just like that thing of like you go to a small town and everyone seems to know something and they're not, and it's unnerving and it's creepy, and like we've all kind of people, you can kind of have that experience in like various places. It's like it's the same thing that like movies like the original version of Wicker Man, not the Nicolas
Not the Nick
Cage
Cage.
Wait, it just occurred to me. Two things. One, what's my favorite game? I'm tied right now for like my favorite game. It kind of sucks to be me. Halo 3 ODST is tied with Mega Man Battle Network 3. But the other question is, so for those that don't know, I got my start on TikTok as like this big bad evil guy that's like, I'm only a villain because I make good business sense and like I treat my employees like they're people. And like I hate like business oriented superheroes. Like Dave the Minion, that shit. And my server now calls me boss. Like that's just kind of like the nickname everyone gave me. But now here's the thing. I am Spee's editor. I'm her official editor now. She's my boss. So, what does that make Spee within the server?
The overboss.
As
The
the local
overboss.
union representative, I cannot comment on this.
So, you're the local union representative?
Yes.
So Spee is like our grand boss? Ah, fuck.
Spee's like the
Did I just make a
The boss in, like-
super cult for Spee?
it's like the boss in like the sequel movie that is like once you've defeated like once the heroes have like beaten like the first level, it turns out actually there's like another like secret council that's led by this other person. You've seen the John Wick movies.
Yep.
Like
Empress.
She's a big boss,
And-
Spee.
and yeah, she has to be the ultimate villain because she has a British accent.
She has to be the ultimate villain. Matriarch? Oh my god! You know what?
Big bot.
You know what? I just yesterday we were hanging out in the collab server, and I is the new queen of we were hanging out in the server, and I was giving everybody, like, I was trying to, like, list off, like, what army everyone is in the call that we were doing. Spee's an Eldari. She is straight up like a Craft World Eldari. Because, like, fits with her elf theme, like, elegant, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, this conversation just reinforces my decision even more.
See, she said Big Boss, and now I'm just imagining her VTuber model with an eye patch.
Oh my god, Spee, you gotta play Metal Gear Solid.
Or just the boss,
Or just the boss.
like from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Yes. Someone's big squid daddy.
I still need to play the remake.
The remake?
I haven't done that yet.
Of Metal Gear Solid 3 for the 3DS?
They're slowly remaking
Right.
all of them.
Right, yeah. Actually, by the way, that was wild for me. They released Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS. I own it.
Mhm.
And I it's not a bad port.
Really?
It's not. It's just like, it's a Metal Gear Solid game on a portable, which, like, there's some problems with that because Metal Gear Solid is more like watching a movie than it is playing a fucking game. But, like, genuinely, it's not a bad port.
3's really where that started. Like,
The ladder scene is infamous for a reason.
mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, everybody, just to make sure, please go follow Lost in Spiral over on Twitch and on YouTube. She is a very great content creator. I can't promote the other stuff that she does because, like, it's not safe for work, and you know how the other places be. But, hey, they're there.
I mean, you could.
Sponsored me Bad Dragon. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, Bad Dragon did something wrong, I think.
Yeah, Bad Dragon Steel Designs.
Yep.
You know what, Adam and Eve, I'm your
sorry.
boy. Anyway.
Sorry. Allegedly, they allegedly steal designs. And there aren't totally, like, completely obvious examples of this out there. That's entirely alleged. I say that for legal reasons. Oh god.
Snake Eater. But yeah, back on track with questions about, like, anything really related to, like, 40K, Halo, Mega Man, anything.
Yeah, I'm the weird person that actually Sons of Liberty is my favorite Metal Gear Solid game, and I will fight and I will defend.
Metal Gear Solid
opinion.
4?
No.
Oh, the number 2. Is that 2?
No, number 2. Yeah, 2.
Really?
Right.
I never. So this is a sin of mine. I've only played Metal Gear Solid 3, 4, and 5. I've never been able to play 2 or 1. These are 2 sins that I have not been able to correct. Because PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 were not in my vocabulary back in the day.
See, I really like how 2 controls, and I actually genuinely enjoyed the story. And I think, actually, if you play it again now, the story and what it's saying holds up much better than it did at the time.
Oh yeah, like,
It's a weird one.
so many people are like, Metal Gear Solid doesn't have a message. No, it is extremely anti-war.
No, but, like,
it is extremely gay. It is extremely anti-war.
But, like, no, like, the Metal Gear Solid 2 is all about the government wanting to control and regulate the flow of information on the internet so that they can control people.
Oh yeah.
Which almost happened.
And we're seeing them try
Remember,
again.
the internet was developed by the U.S. military, and then they decided, oh, there's no real use for this.
And then we got a hold of it.
Yeah, but, like,
Hello, Ian.
it is genuinely like one of those like, and like the game itself is actually very good. The way it plays, I think, is a very good Metal Gear experience without necessarily being overblown with additional mechanics like happened with 3 onwards. The cutscene overbearingness is much toned down compared to later ones. The bits where it does get ridiculous, it is explained within the narrative of this is not what is literally happening.
Yeah, it throws you
Like-
for a loop, but it's when you understand that like what the plot is trying to tell you, and that the plot is essentially the bad guys of the series, like just retrying to create the first game to create like their ultimate assassin / serial killer, while also trying to gain control over the internet for control information and such. You know what? You know what's even more fucked? All of this fucking planning and everything, all because 2 dumbasses misinterpreted their best friend's final wishes. Fucking Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, she's just like, I want a place where soldiers can live in peace, or like soldiers, I don't remember the wording specifically, but like clearly her intent is that she wants soldiers to not be abandoned after they serve
By their governments.
Yeah. She wants she wants soldiers to like be able to return to a civilian life and be happy. That was her dream. And then jackass number 1, which is Snake, by the way, he's just like, oh, this means like she wants to create like a military, like a mercenary island kind of a thing where like soldiers can always feel useful, that kind of thing. While the other guy is just like, oh, clearly I need to create it, make the world like based on a war economy.
Well, so speaking as the veteran in our group,
As I'm just like hearing in my fucking head, Metal Gear Solid 5's theme.
speaking as the veteran group, Snake had the right idea with giving them a purpose. Poor execution. Because the problem with basically all veterans getting out is we don't have the structure of the military anymore. We feel like we have too much freedom, too much choice.
Yeah, soldiers
And that's
have a
the
very
issue.
regimented lifestyle, and when you remove it's psychologically, when you remove someone from that regimented lifestyle, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Which, so he had the right idea, just went the wrong way with it.
I think it's also interesting that essentially the Metal Gear series is a Japanese writer's dissertation, essentially, on the U.S. military.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think I think it's interesting because I think that's like again the kind of it's the kind of commentary you're not going to get from someone who's been in like a U.S. system. Like
It's
it
very
takes that-
easy for all of us to. It's very easy for us outside the U.S. to look at how the U.S. does things and, you know, judge it. It's very easy for us because we're the outside experience. But like, there's living through it and then there's watching it.
Yeah.
And when the people watching it and the people living through it are basically saying the same thing, something's fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Metal Gear Solid is incredibly anti-war. Hideo Kojima is on record for stating he is very anti-war. The guy is a mad lad. He's a mad fucking creator, but like, the man makes some good points when he's not showing you Raiden's taint. Because also funny.
Also, what's this thing with like having people piss themselves? That's kind of concerning.
Japanese humor is very different than ours.
I know.
And
it's slapstick, no humor, like as in like no theater.
Yeah. And
Or
it's supposed to
possibly
be like a
theater.
running gag with the guy.
I know.
Who also turns out to be the most useful motherfucker by the end of the series. Man, dude, how did you get away from the, like, how did you not get nanomachine injections in number 4? Oh, I ducked out of every appointment. How? Oh, I just said I had the shits. So
Hey,
wait, we
it's
tied
been-
that joke back into actually plot relevant shit?
No machine, son.
Nanomachine, son.
I love how that's basically just become a huge meme.
You and your D&D party go up against a rich noble. You realize that he's very thick and athletic. He breaks your fighter's sword. Nanomachine, son! Adamantium skin! Everyone screams.
I mean, like as a fan of Metal Gear Solid 2, I will admit that Raiden is a way more interesting character when he's basically in Devil May Cry.
Well, to be fair, isn't that what happens in Metal Gear Solid 4? Is that, like, he just becomes like fucking Virgil or Dante? He fights
my
a
God,
vampire too!
Have you not played Revengeance?
I play it on stream, yes.
Oh, it's so good.
I
Oh,
suck. I suck at it.
I was
Yeah, but-
never a fan of Revengeance.
No, Revengeance, if you've played the other Metal Gear Solid games and you go into it with a Metal Gear Solid mindset,
Yeah.
you're gonna hate it. But then if you just, you turn your brain off, it's genuinely a good popcorn game.
If you stop thinking of it as a Metal Gear game.
What if
And that's just the thing I never could do for me.
No, that's fair. I suck at it. I think it's a great game. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I just suck. Hey, boss, I know it's a repeat for myself, but what is your favorite weapon? For me, it's the plasma cannon. I know it can blow me up. I don't care. Is this like favorite weapon in 40K or favorite weapon in fiction? Because I have two very different answers.
I have multiple answers.
Oh, I know you do. Mister, I like to design weaponry. 40K. Okay, in 40K, my favorite weapon, the chainsword. The chainsword is my favorite weapon in 40K, even though, like, it makes no sense design-wise. Like, this thing should, like, not work. Specifically,
None of the weapons in 40K should work.
like, specifically, my favorite version of the weapon is the Chaos Space Brain one with, like, the extra blade on the end. I love that design. It's extremely edgy, it's over the top, but it's 40K. It's always going to be edgy and over the top. My favorite weapon of all time throughout any fictional universe, ooh, that's a toughie. That is a toughie. I'd have to say my favorite weapon of all time would probably be... Ooh. Would probably be the Mega Buster or the Z-Saber from Mega Man X. Like, Zero's sword or, like, X's Buster Cannon. Those things are great. Love them. If you want a real-world answer for my favorite weapon, like, I love design-wise, it's the G36.
Okay.
I like the G36.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, like, listen. Guns look cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, the G36, I saw it in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, and I was hooked. I was like, this is mine now. I will shoot any of you who tries to take it from me. It then disappeared in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I got sad, and then they brought it back for Modern Warfare 3, and I was happy again. And then, like, any gun that looks like the G36 in fiction, I immediately gravitate towards. again, I do not like I'm terrified of guns, because who isn't? I don't like firing them because I have a noise thing. Like, I'll go to the shooting range with my dad on his birthday when asked. But, like, I do not like guns. But I do like the designs of them.
That's your opinion, and I respect it, even though I disagree.
What is there to disagree with? What is there to disagree with about my opinion?
Your opinion is wrong.
It's just like Dragon Ball. Every opinion I have is objectively wrong. To be honest, for
I don't judge people who don't like firearms. I just judge people who have an opinion and aren't educated on firearms.
I'm educated enough on firearms.
Yeah.
That's like I don't need to know like what's the thing I'm looking for here? I don't need to know the name of the guy who designed the gun, right? I just need to know what the gun does. Is it a fully automatic? Is it a semi-automatic? Actually, I started with semi and fully. Like my
I'm talking about the people that are like fully automatic assault revolver with a 30-round magazine. Those are the people I'm like, shut the fuck up. Those people I can't stand. For me, what is my favorite weapon in 40K?
Well, do you have an answer immediately?
It might be the bolt gun, like the classic one, like not the bolt rifle, like the
Godwin.
The Godwin pattern,
like the Godwin pattern bolt gun. Just because it is just like 40k in a gun. Like it's, if you look at it from like the way of like any of the specs they've ever put out for it are ridiculous and nonsensical. It's massive overkill, like from like a lore perspective, and on the tabletop is like the weapon that the game is balanced around.
Also, there's no way its magazine should hold 30 rounds.
No, but it does, because it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. By the way,
I would have to say.
I just need to say this quick. So, by the way, just to let you all know, tomorrow Spee is retiring her model because she's doing a new model reveal on Wednesday. So, please go show up for that tomorrow. Anyway, continue.
For 40k, I'd have to say the rad rifle from the Mechanicus.
Nice. Mechanicus one, yeah, hell yeah.
The fuck's wrong with you? I have weaponized radiation, says the Mechanicus. Why? Because fuck you, it's fun.
Because fuck you, fuck the operator, and fuck everyone around you.
Man, it's like...
Oh, actually...
Skitarii Vanguard are cursed.
Oh,
it just reminds me... Yeah.
Plasma weapons, all of them.
It reminds me of the old Imperial Guardsman meme where he shoots a Chaos Space Marine, and the Chaos Space Marine just looks at him, and it's like, that did nothing. And then he goes to the apothecary, and he's like, you have cancer now.
It's that one Harley Quinn meme, and I love that so much. This gun, what'd you hit me with? I don't know. It says cancer gun. You gave me cancer? Oh my god!
Why would you do that?
That's so mean!
It's a funny joke.
It's a funny joke. But
But
yeah.
I'm not laughing. I am.
Fucking god, 40k, what is wrong with you? Like, a lot of people are like, oh my god, possessed marines are horrible. They're flat, like, fucking, obliterators are horrifying. They're like mixed mash with their guns. Yeah, what'd you expect? They're demons at that point. The Imperium, oh, I just make guns that commit war crimes on a daily basis, and no one seems to blink a fucking eye at it. Like,
Yeah.
like guys, I want to remind you again. The weakest weapon in 40k to date is the las gun, and the las gun is depicted as boring a hole in its target.
Yeah, the last gun, like from like an in-universe perspective, is like designed to like kill humans with one shot. Like it's the las gun is like it's the lowest strength of like imperial weapon that you see on the tabletop. If you got like Necromunda, you go like lower than that, you get like into stub guns and all that kind of stuff, and it's just there's no point in having that level of granularity in 40k. But like las guns are like actually like relatively quite powerful.
They are.
I mean, stab guns are just normal firearms.
Yeah, like the stubber, the heavy stubber. They're just our modern day weaponry.
Nah.
Yeah.
Phosphex fucking existed and used by the Imperium. Yes!
It's not a war crime if there are no survivors.
No, it's not a war crime if you're the victor.
It's not a war
It's also
crime if
not
you're
a-
Canada.
No,
Listen,
the
we,
things kind
listen,
of
we
aren't
find the ways to make the war crimes, and then we put it into law later. It's fine.
I was gonna say it's not a war crime until Canada does it.
Also, I just want to say this out loud. Earlier today, so as you all know, the Halo video came out today. The Halo Reach video. Please go watch it after the stream, and share it around. But there's at one point Speed drives off a cliff, because as she told me, because like I didn't see it happen when we played the stream, but like I asked like what the fuck happened, and I rewatched the thing. I'm like, how did you not see the road? And her brain did a stupid thing where it like created two roads, so she thought she was driving on the road when she went off that cliff. And I'm like, okay, so she's probably not going to make that mistake again. I have learned that just like an anime demon boy that will destroy her life, she will get in a car in a game and just gravitate towards a cliff. This has happened in Halo 1. Well, this happened in Halo Reach. This happened in Halo 1. And it has now happened in Halo 2. Love you, Spee. I'm gonna keep giving you the warthog. By God, I can't wait for 3. Can't wait for Halo 3. Genuinely. Are you happy for the new Phoenix Lords? Yes. Out of all the Eldar models, their aspect shrines and characters needed the fucking update. I am always on board with models getting an update. And if anybody dares bitch at me about it, I tell them that they're fucking sad. Like,
I also love the fact that I love the fact that it was just an update. They like just basically took Jez Goodwin's. They say this even in the Warcom article about it. They basically went to Jez Goodwin's sketches for the Eldar and went, "Yeah, but just do these. These are just still perfect." Like the original designs of these are just. He nailed it in like 1989. Make this with modern technology.
exactly. It still keeps their personalities. It still keeps like what makes the model the model. And yeah. Otherwise, like, they're just needed updates for old models. Warp Spiders, my beloved. My brother is obsessed with the new Warp Spiders. Theon, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, depending on the points cost, are just gonna be either fine or broken as hell. And it's an Eldar codex, so it could go either way.
Yeah, no, Eldar have no chill. They're either the most broken fucking thing ever in 40k, or they're perfectly middle of the road. Upsetting that the Striking Scorpions didn't get their
Here's the
Phoenix
great
Lord
thing about
updated.
it. Oh, here's the great thing about the Eldar, and I've been playing this stupid game since 2nd edition. The Eldar have always either been broken or Eldar players moaning that they're unplayable. but like that just basically means they're about as good as everyone else.
I can't wait to see how they fare against Custodians this edition.
Foxy Gothic, thank you for the follow. Hey, I just got a Terminator squad. Are they worth it in your eyes? Yes.
Yes.
They are, like, design-wise,
Always.
they're amazing. Gameplay-wise, they're the heaviest and toughest unit you can bring. If you plant them on an objective, your opponent's going to have to waste, like, most of their army trying to get them off of it. Terminators are amazing, and the only way your opponent can really beat them reliably is just isolate them on the board. Like, yeah, Terminators are really worth it. Like, there's
Assault Terminators are also really great for taking objectives, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Terminators are good. What about Chaos Terminators? Same difference, right? They're extreme, like, they're the toughest unit that's a non-demonic unit that Chaos Space Marines can bring. If you're not bringing
I was
Obliterators,
gonna say,
you're bringing Termies.
I was gonna say arguably more important in the Chaos list because you don't have access to the Gravis stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You don't
Way
have
more.
as much heavy support.
Hi again. Hello. I do have a question about 40k. Since we have Hive Cities, why Skaven aren't a thing? What are you talking about? The Imperium Skaven. We reproduce like rats.
Well, also, like, the Underhive has mutants.
Skaven are...
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Just because they're not a faction within 40k does not mean they don't exist within 40k. We have had Skaven in 40k. We've had rat mutants pop up in the books. They're just not called Skaven. Just like how Eldar are not called High Elves. We have Beastmen back. Like, no one thought Beastmen would be in 40k as anything. But then it comes down to, why are you introducing rats into 40k? What are they fundamentally there to do?
What niche are they gonna fill?
Like, this is like the thing that people need to understand about 40k factions. What niche is that army filling? You know who's doing the Skaven's job right now? Gene Stealer cults. That is what Gene Stealer cults do. They are basically Skaven.
Also Admech.
Also Admech.
There's some overlap.
Including Skaven into 40k would literally just be a waste of time. But in Fantasy and in Age of Sigmar, they do fill a niche. They fill a swarm heavy army that isn't as tough as orcs, but can be just as dangerous, if not more so, with their own distinct style and gameplay. Where the orcs they're a blunt instrument of numbers, Skaven are death by 1,000 cuts. All their units, from the smallest slave rat to the largest mutant, they're all shit compared to their counterparts. It's just that I can field more of them than you can.
And I can bring them, well, I wouldn't say bring them back, but you can bring in reinforcements to replace them.
Yeah. Well.
And they have, like, wild technology. Like, that's the other...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Like, they have mad science, basically, that makes up for their shortcomings.
Yeah,
would it be cool to see them in 40k? Yeah, I'd like it, but...
I think it'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be. But, like, they're gonna be that weird army that just kind of doesn't really have its own thing.
Yeah, and...
It's like, well, I want to play Skaven. Well, why don't you just go, as you said, go play, Gene Stealers? Because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And I think GW wants to keep Skaven within the realm of fantasy. Because they're just like that really weird army, right? Like, there's let me speak about it, because like this is from my player experience. So when you look at Skaven, both in like Total War Warhammer, the video game, and like on the tabletop, they're such a wild, artistic, designed army. Like you have like a slave rat with like leather hat, and he's just like, and then you got like fucking doom wheels. They got like motorcycles. Like what the shit? It's such a wildly designed army, and it fits in fantasy for some odd reason. Like that's, but like if I try to imagine it in 40k, orcs already do that. Genestealer cults already do that. Mechanicus already do that. Hell, technically the Imperial Guard does it. It's like, what are we doing here? And like, I know a lot of people are also going to point out, like, well, they brought dwarves into 40k, and if I wanted to play a defensive lion army, I'd just play like Imperial Fists, or I'd play Tau Empire. And those are okay arguments as well, but the difference is that the League of Votann playstyle is that you hit me, I hit you 2 times harder. And it's a very brutal, very aggressive playstyle that I've not seen dwarves be able to do before. Like, people are like, oh, Leagues of Votann are a shooting army. Yeah, but then I have to point out, their longest range gun is on one model, and that's their tank. Everyone else is, like, carrying a gun that's, like, 24 inches or lower. They're a close to mid-ranged army.
Mm-hmm. And they have some great melee options as well.
Oh, yeah. I do not want to be in the receiving end of a fucking charge by Leagues of Votann ever again.
Yeah, the design intent for the Votann seems to very much be, they are a boulder rolling downhill. They start off behind the curve, and then they gain momentum, and then they become basically like a juggernaut towards the end because they've built up like the buffs and things that they need to execute on their plan. Now you can argue as to how well that is like able to be done in 40k because of the way 40k is structured, but like that's sort of like the intent behind them, that like once they get momentum behind them, they're this like force multiplier army. But like that's not how dwarves, they're actually not very defensive. That's like that's the trap almost of Leagues of Votann.
Yeah, they're ooh.
They are a offense is the best defense like level of like I play them, and my kin do not sit still. Like if they are not moving every turn, then I am not playing them right.
Yeah, like that was the trap. Like every time I've watched Leagues of Votann, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I should hold still." No, do not. Your job is to put pressure on your opponent. Your tanks, yes, they should be hanging out in the back, but everything else that doesn't have wheels should be moving. It's that ironic twist, right? Like the thing with wheels shouldn't be moving, but the rest of them should be. It's so weird, but it's so cool. I debated getting a League of Votann army, but like I couldn't justify it because like their playstyle, because like I was thinking like fantasy dwarves, so I'm thinking like long lines of gunners with like slow front line. No, I was wrong.
No, they are fast bike squadrons.
With Fulgrim back, do you think? Yeah, sorry. With Fulgrim back,
no, you're good.
With Fulgrim back, do you think it will cause a reunion between Lion and Gullyman, or do you think it'll be just round 2 for Gullyman and Fulgrim? Seeing where we're ending up, I don't think we're going for round 2. I think Fulgrim, because the interesting thing is that when you look at the Eldar Codex, the fire dragon on the Codex, or is it a fire dragon?
I think it's an autarch.
It might be an autarch. No, it's a fire dragon.
Okay, fair.
The new guy, like, he's standing on an Emperor's Children's corpse. He's standing on a noise marine. So, and the new thing for the Imperial Guard is that they're going back to Cadia. So, and I'm not talking like Cadia the planet. I'm talking about like Cadia, a continent that survived apparently. I think it's not going to be Fulgrim versus Robu Gulliman. I think it's going to be Fulgrim versus the Aspect Shrines.
If they do have a Primarch versus, honestly, I think and I hope it's gonna be against the Lion.
Yeah, like something that I want everybody to something that I want people to know, because I'm rereading Dark Imperium, but I also remember what's it called? Gathering Storm. Fulgrim doesn't care. This is something that people need to remember about, like, Fulgrim as a character. When he's done playing with something, he's done with it. Like, he just... It has no apparent value, and, like, I have no shits in the world to give. He fucked with Gulliman once to prove that he could do it, and then he laughed and left. In Gathering Storm. In Dark Imperium, he wounds Gulliman because he wants to watch him suffer, or, like, show that, like, hey, you're not so great, you would have fallen too. Because if Fulgrim's gonna make a point, he's gonna be, like, flashy about it. He's gonna show off. And that was the point of what happened in Dark Imperium. Is that, like, he lured Gulliman into a trap that he couldn't escape, and then he extended the hand saying, like, hey, Slaanesh could always use more toys. Like, because Gulliman, like, said, you're conceited, you're a slave, you, like, gave up everything and you still lost. And Fulgrim's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, Fulgrim is under no illusion of what he is and who he is now. And he wanted to, like, oh, cool, Gulliman said no, now I can fuck with him. And that's what he did. And then Gulliman wakes up, Fulgrim still proves that he can fuck with him, and Gulliman's a boring toy now. So, what's he to do? Well, the Eldar keep denying me, so I'm gonna go fuck with them. It seems like it's going that way. We will learn when the new Fulgrim book comes out, which I will read, and I will get back to you on that one.
My theory, and this is tinfoil hat thing here, is we will get a campaign book in about the summer,
Probably.
which will be this year's battle zone,
Ooh.
and it will be primarily Emperor's Children and other Chaos versus Eldar.
Yeah, because we're
With-
going into the Spring of Chaos.
Yeah, with various marine things around, like, with, like, the implication that, like, there is a space marine, one of Gilliman's Indomitus fleets on the way, and it's made up of, probably, I'm gonna straight up say it'll be made up of Imperial Fists, Crimson Fists, White Scars, Iron Hands, and Salamanders, because there is a rumor there is allegedly a Space Marine wave on the way.
Oh, like
that is
new
gonna be
models and everything?
which is going to be characters,
Probably.
and it's going to be it's going to be the rumor that has been put about, and okay, take this with a big pinch of salt, is it's redone. It's all the ones that were previously in Finecast, so Lysander, Pedro Cantor, and
Good.
Vulcan Histan, redone in plastic.
Good. If they're done and redone in
new model
plastic,
for
that's
them.
great.
And then a character for the White Scars, a character for the Iron Hands, and a character for the Raven Guard, so that each of the non-Ultramarines Space Marine chapters have 2 special characters that they can field.
Sick. I would actually really like that.
Good.
If that is true, awesome. If it's not, well.
Like we're probably gonna get like at least Lysander and Cantor and Hestan, because they're in the Codex and they have fine cast models and they don't make those anymore. So,
it's awesome. Which
and to show my age, I bought Dareth Lysander when he first came out, when he was in metal.
Ooh, metal boy.
Many years ago.
Ooh,
I have a metal Drago on my display shelves.
Metal Calidor Drago?
Yeah.
Fuck. How much of a pain in the ass was he to glue together?
Oh, fine. He's like 3 pieces.
Nice. I've been thinking I might try to... Oh, wait. Which new faction would you add to 40k, and which current one would you phase out? I wouldn't phase out any faction in 40k. That seems like really... It seems really mean. I did talk about how I would like a faction that was very much like the Covenant from Halo. Because, like, that's what the Tau are supposed to be. But the Tau have fallen into more of a niche of, just, like, gun lines and stuff. Like, they're more advanced-looking Imperial Guard. Now with a decent front line with the Kroot. But, like, that's 2 species. I would like an army where, it's, like, these are, like, your obvious cannon fodder. These are, like, your leader units. These are, like, this species is your cannon fodder. This species is your leader units. This species is, like, I just want, like, that caste system. With, like, all the different, groups. Because I think that'd be cool. Probably never gonna get that. Because that, like, revolves around, like, trying to make all these different smaller species into a cohesive whole, and trying to still fit within the 40k aesthetic. Because regardless of what people say about the Tau do fit into 40k's aesthetic. I do not care what they say, because, like, by that idea, like the idea that the Tau don't fit, neither do the Dark Eldar, neither do Gene Stealer cults, neither do any of the more, neither do Necrons. They all don't fit.
Well, I would say, and this is true for all factions, not just what I'm about to say about the Tau. When they first got released and we didn't have much lore information on them, I would say they didn't really fit into 40k. Once their books and more expanded lore came out, they definitely fit in.
Yeah. Well, like, but people bitch about it because like, oh well, they're just Gundam, they're just anime, and it's like the Eldar are based on the Guyver.
Yeah.
Like the Eldar, like the look of the Eldar with like the tight fitted like bodysuit thing is like a direct lift from Guyver comics that were popular in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Like, and like a big smattering of like Celtic mythology and stuff. It's actually quite cool. I'm listening to the audiobook for.
It's a British comic book, Nate. Don't worry about it.
No, Guyver, as in like as in like the manga.
Oh, fuck, Guyver. Stupid.
Which,
yeah,
I mean,
I see it. Yeah, I see it now. Guyver was a manga back in the day.
Which I was about to say, we're kind of seeing that come back in anime.
Yeah! Yeah, like Dragon Ball Daima, right? Like, this is what it looks like, chat. This is Guyver.
They made a live action movie of this with Mark Hamill as the villain.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Like, that was the wildest fact I learned about fucking Mark Hamill. Was that he was in a Guyver movie.
Mm-hmm.
As the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, wow, right? Really weird.
It's not a good film.
No, it's terrible. Like, even Mark Hamill doesn't remember it that well.
No. But like, so I'm listening to the audiobook right now for Elemental Council, the Nutau book.
Yeah.
And they've not done a lot with the auxiliary stuff, but like because they're on a conquered or an imperial planet, or formerly imperial planet, that is like rebelling against essentially Tau compliance, essentially. But like they keep like going out to like see various different cadres like out in the field, and in the last bit they just encountered a group of pathfinders who have been like assigned like out into the field, and like they've got with them like a detachment of like Guvesa, like human troops, like as just like cannon fodder for them to use. But they've also got Kroot with them, and they've got what are called, I can't remember what the alien species name is, but they're described as basically being like dog soldiers. They're like dog people who are like for their like really good trackers and like really good like auxiliary fighters for the Tau. Like one of the Kroot characters, like you get a little bit of his PV, and he talks about like walking through like a Tau cities on like a Sept world and like drinking in the scents of all the different species that he encounters, because it's like, and he does describe it about like being at a buffet, but like it's like a really interesting like if that's the direction they take the Tau, I'm very for it, like to the point that I think I said this to a few people, I'm only like halfway I'm like 2/3 of the way through the book, and if this book sticks the landing, which I'm kind of confident that it will, this does for the Tau what Twice Dead King did for the Necrons.
Nice.
Like I would legitimately tell people, read your Tau Codex, then go read Elemental Council. It is like the best Tau story you will ever read. It is actually characters in the Tau Empire grappling with the ideas of what the Tau Empire is. And like what it means.
August, I have not seen Owlcat's survey because I'm not on Twitter anymore, because fuck Twitter. I refuse to use Twitter. That site can rot for all I care. Sorry.
Real Trader Game is good though.
Oh, it is. And no, this isn't me like saying like, oh, I am boycotting Owlcat Games. I'm not saying that at all. I'm boycotting Twitter. So I just didn't see it. It was on YouTube. I don't get everything on YouTube, and so I didn't see it. Well, welcome to an age where our feeds are bullshit. It, like, nothing I can do about it. I didn't see it. I just looked up what you were talking about. Yeah, they're doing surveys for, like, DLC ideas.
Yep.
Which I'm like, cool, awesome. Good for them.
It's a very basic survey. It's basically like, oh, what factions do you want to see either included or expanded upon? What areas of the Cronus Expanse do you want to visit? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So, good for them. Awesome for them. Which accent does your friend have? It sounds very interesting. Will, you were Scottish, right?
Yes, I am.
He is Scottish. Well, that tunist, to tell you about that, so I want everyone to understand, like, this has been a long-standing thing. Necrons were reinvented when Tau Empire were brought in. The idea is that if the Necrons were the oldest species in the galaxy, technically, then the Tau were the new kids on the block. So it was very much like the 80s clashing with like the late 90s, early 2000s. And what was popular in late 90s, early 2000s? Gundam, Transformers, anime, big boom. So yeah, like a lot of the Tau design motifs were designed off of like Robotech, Gundam, Transformers. If it came from Japan, it was added into the Tau. Whereas the Necrons were very much like, let's
Terminator.
Terminator, like those 80 kinds of like horrific ideas, like characters like being atomized, or like mindless automata, which then have been expanded upon since then, so that way they're not just a Terminator knockoff, they're their own distinct group along with the Tau.
The Necrons that were released at the same time as the Tau, because the Necrons were released in 2002, I want to say, and the Tau were released in 2001, like 6 months before them.
Yeah.
The Necrons had existed. They did a couple of like White Dwarf lists in second edition and things like that up until then, and then they got reintroduced in third edition as like their own thing, because they were called like the Necron Raiders before. And they were reintroduced, and they were very much a. They were what GW wanted to make them space undead. So which is why the Catan at the time, not Catan shards, like the actual like star gods, which were units you could play in the game, were referred to as star vampires.
Yeah.
In the thing, because it was a takeoff on what they were doing in fantasy, which is the vampire counts, which was vampires leading legions of the undead, and so like so they had like, you know, legions of you know, skeletal soldiers. The Terminator references there because their original reanimation protocols wasn't called reanimation protocols at the time.
It was I'll be back.
It was called I'll be back, or we'll be back. Yeah, they had like flayed ones, which were sort of like ghouls, and like a whole bunch of a whole bunch of other stuff. And apparently the Tau started out as a concept that Gav Thorpe had, like in like the early 90s, that he pitched to GW, which was basically originally going to be Space Lizardmen. It was the idea that like the sort of the races that had been like the lizardmen in space that had like seeded the lizardmen in Warhammer Fantasy, but like then gone on to be in like space and stuff, had like bred themselves into this like caste system, and sort of forgot their own history because it was like so long ago. So they thought they were a very new race, but they were actually they thought they were a young race, but they were actually a very, very old race in terms of they'd been created by the old ones as well. They were going to be called the Shuselian League originally, and then it just got reworked. It got reworked into eventually the Tau, because he also wanted to have like mecha in it. So we nearly got robot dinosaurs, which would have been sweet.
Which
I really want robot dinosaurs now.
we all want robot dinosaurs now. Like, listen, the coolest thing Transformers could have done was give us a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And they did. They gave us Grimlock, and he's still the coolest. You may know this if this is correct or not, but didn't GW say they were going to bring back all the Primarchs in some way? Or was that just a rumor that was said by someone? I don't remember anyone saying it specifically, but it's pretty much just like all but confirmed that if it's a Primarch that's breathing, they're coming back. Eventually. Yeah. Unless GW does a Age of Sigmar thing with Warhammer 40k. It's not confirmed, but if they're bringing back Fulgrim, a character that like everyone was like they won't touch Fulgrim. Like GW does not have the brass balls to do it. They looked us dead in the eye and said, "Here's Snake Daddy," and now I'm going for Snake Daddy. Like, I have told my wife that I do not care. I am getting that Emperor's Children's box. I am getting Fulgrim. I do not care. And that it works. I was very tempted to get Lionel Johnson too.
If they've done Snake Daddy, it's all but like inevitable. They're gonna do Russ.
They're gonna
and people are like, oh, they should do Vulcan or they should do that. It's like, no, they're gonna do the Primarchs of the ones who have books.
Yeah, Primarchs are the ones who have
That's
books. It's why people are like, oh my god, we're getting Vulcan back. No, we're not.
No, not for a while.
Like,
if at all.
Guys, like the entire thing is like for every 2 Traitor Primarchs, we get 1 Loyalist.
I mean, that's also how the math works out. Anyway,
they're probably going to stop at Russ for a while as well.
Yeah, we'll have like the 4 representatives of Angron, Magnus, Mortarion, and Fulgrim, and then for the Loyalists, we'll have Gulliman, Lionel Johnson, and Lehman Russ, because it just makes sense.
And kind of Dante kind of fills in the Sanguinius role.
Yeah. If you've watched,
like Dante is like Primarch level.
I fucking hate that secret level thing. God damn it. No, Titus. Oh my god, I hate this. My opinion on the secret level short for Space Marine is well known by now, because I got fucking ripped apart in the comments because no one fucking listens to what I say. You know why Titus won't be corrupted by chaos? Plot armor. Plot armor. He's immune, like, he's resistant to warp corruption. He's just can't be stopped. He knows no fear, even though every Space Marine knows no fear. What's my opinion? GW wanted their own Master Chief. That is my opinion. Like, why is he resistant? I don't know, magic. Like, he believes real hard in himself. The GW exec behind him's just like, no, actually, when, like, fighting, like, he'll walk up to Abaddon and, like, twist his obelisk.
No, he's gonna wave it in front of his face, like, look what I have!
I got your
say, you can also therefore guarantee that he is going to be nowhere near any of the ongoing plot going forward. He is a character that will be restricted almost exclusively to the video games. He is their, like, first point of contact character for extended media. Will not be probably connected to the ongoing storyline, and like, yeah, it's they wanted like, you're bang on, like, they wanted a Master Chief, and to be fair, that Master Chief is like having them print money right now.
Like, I don't like the secret level short because it's just jerking them off more. And my main criticism of it was, I'm tired of Space Marines killing things. I just got a full video game of that. Why don't we do the more interesting story about, like, how Titus went from tiny child to Marine? Because, like, I think that would be really cool and a really fucked up story about, like, how the Space Marines turn children into psychopathic murderers. Because that's what they are. But no, we got Space Marines doing Space Marine shit. No, like, little to no voice acting at all. You have to interpret the plot, which is, oh no, they kill a Tzeentch demon, except that it wasn't a Tzeentch demon, it was a mutated sorcerer, and Titus has the biggest, brassest balls ever in all of 40k, even though, like, any main character could do that in 40k. It's boring.
I will say, I love the design of the sorcerer, and I want a model of it.
Agreed. Like, guys, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying
It's
it bored
beautifully animated.
Like, a lot of people thought like I was saying it was bad. I said it bored me.
Yeah.
Also, can more Space Marine kits please come with come with power axes?
Please?
Yes, please.
Like,
can we get power axes back? Like,
I want
for
power
not
axe
Space
back.
Marine?
Stop giving them to the Space Wolves. Show some love.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love axes in 40k. Like, if I can give my Chaos Marines axes, I do that.
My loyalist Space Marines have chain axes for that reason, because chain axes are cool.
Like the secret level episode, it's beautifully animated, and that's what I was focusing on the entire time.
Like,
I didn't pay
I don't have an
attention to
argument
the
against
story
that.
at all.
It is beautifully animated when I can see
And
it.
it is, and also it is a beautiful. It is a very good demonstration of. If this is how you are going to depict the conservation of movement that Marines do when they are fighting, it is brutally effective in terms of that.
Oh yeah, like
in terms of
again that scene where like the Blade Guard sergeant, like, guy jumps on him and he just goes like backhands with the axe. That's fucking cool and funny. Like, but again, the problem comes down to, getting back to the crux of the point, I hated that the short just was silent. It was Marines killing shit, and then, because that's like every fucking animation with Space Marines in it. Titus can't be stopped. There was like a million other ways to do that, but no, we had to give him the biggest obelisk in the room. And genuinely, I don't know. They will never elaborate upon it. They didn't elaborate on it in the first game. They sort of hinted at it in the second game with, fucking, what's his face? Why can't I remember his fucking name? The tech priest guy. Who's just like, oh my god, you have a resistance to this thing. And then they just don't bring it up again. And then, like, they throw you into the warp. And it's just like, wait, we're in the warp? Why isn't, like, Gadriel and Chiron, like, keeling over? That kind of thing. I'm just like... I think I may be wrong on this, but the guy who did the Astartes short was lead on that episode of Secret Level. I don't care. It does not negate my criticism.
Yeah.
No, it's I think what they mean is it's very indicative because it's very similar to the Astartes short.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I'm glad he got work. Like, genuinely, I am very glad that he got work. He does in very impressive animation. Like, the Astartes shorts truly are fucking beautiful. Like, they're great. If you want, like, how Space Marines fight, the Astartes short, until the end, gets it, like, completely right. And just, like, how they work together.
He is working on a second season for GW right now.
Which is cool. But it does not negate my argument that Space Marine animations right now are boring as sin. Because if all they have is bolter porn with no flair and nothing else to it, I could give less of a shit. I'll just play Space Marine 2.
Again, if you want a comparison point to it, that even Games Workshop themselves have like produced, they made the Tithes shorts for Warhammer Plus, and they made the 3. The one with the Custodes, like for all the bullshit that is around that, is actually really good and quite entertaining. The one with the Imperial Guard is like genuinely harrowing.
Oh yeah.
When you watch it.
Knight, I'm gonna push back a little on this. I'm gonna push back on your show don't tell. there is some things that you do need to tell. Like, what? Yes, they're, like, in my opinion. There's, like, a lot of silence in that show. But there's still dialogue to explain what's going on and why it's being done. And
Gendy Tartakovsky is also a genius.
Gendy
Like,
Tartakovsky.
genuinely.
Yeah. Like the episode of Black and White where where Jack is going up against a assassin who wears nothing but black and fights in black and white environments. And like Jack responds with a white suit. So like he blends it, like he fades into the white while the other guy fades into black. But there's like a time limit and everything. That's a fight where you do show, don't tell. In a fight, you do show, don't tell. In what the fuck are you doing? You have to tell us what's going on. Like, why were they on that planet? Why did they need to destroy the Zinch statue? Why are they there? It's like the only information we get is 2 seconds on a monitor that tells you objective, destroy thing. Why?
You are probably all going to die.
Yeah. There needs to be a little bit more there. And like a little bit of banter at least. Like Chiron and Gadriel gave you banter. Why couldn't we get a little bit of banter? It's even worse.
You have Idris Elba. You have Idris Elba. Use your Idris Elba.
You have him. Why didn't you use him? Christ! There are ways to do it. And yes, there are shorts that don't have any dialogue in them, but you don't see people talking about them much, do you?
Interesting. I have actually a very different. I have a different favorite episode of Samurai Jack, but it's very similar. My favorite one is the one with the archers on the tower that can hear you. So it's
Yeah.
told entirely through sound, visual representations of sound.
Yeah. There were better ways to do it, and again, it doesn't change my opinion of I found the short boring because it does nothing. It's just Marines show up, kill a thing, some of them die. Titus has big obelisk energy. Move on. Which actually, with all the episodes of Secret Level being out, I genuinely didn't enjoy Secret Level that much. I liked Unreal Tournament. I liked what was the other one? Fuck, what were the episodes of Secret Level?
I enjoy the D&D one.
D&D one is just like it's there for me.
Yeah.
I liked Unreal Tournament. I liked Sifu. New World, the Once and Future King. That one was funny. But like, and Mega Man. I like Mega Man. I like that little take on Mega Man. But otherwise,
that one is weird.
It is weird. Like all the Robot Masters are huge, but I found Secret Level just to be boring at the end of the day. It really. And the last episode being just a promotion for PlayStation. Why the fuck? Right?
Money.
And then, like, half the games there weren't even, like, you can't even play them reliably anymore. Which sucks. The thing I absolutely loved in the Astartes is in the scene where the Inquisitor screams out of his lungs to the captain, and then the captain tells the Marine to go. We will need to get to Dorne. No, we do not need rural Dorne.
No.
listen, you do not need every, like, guys, Dorn's a brick. Like, I'm sorry, he's, like, one of the least interesting Primarchs, no matter how much people online try to sell him. He's not interesting. He's boring as sin. Like, there's, like, only, like...
Yeah, I was gonna say, the only way that Dorn would be interesting is if you brought him back and he wasn't a loyalist. Like, that's, like, the only thing you could do with him.
He's just a brick.
Because, well, like, you could... The only thing you could do with him is, like, his greatest achievement was 10,000 years ago. And to a certain extent, no one cares. Like, it didn't save the Imperium. You know what I mean?
Yeah. His greatest achievement did fuck all. And if, like, they brought him back, what's he gonna do? Like, Gulliman being brought back... Gulliman... The purpose of each Primarch being brought back is a few things. If it's not, like, a traitor Primarch. So, like, with Gulliman, it was a genuine shakeup to 40k. Because Gulliman, technically, everyone knew where he was. He was on the fortress... He was in the Fortress of Hera on Macragge. It was very easy to make a plot line where you could bring him back. But Gulliman is the statesman brought into an Imperium he doesn't recognize. And that's what makes the story interesting, is how does someone from 10,000 years ago essentially cope with the fact that it's not the Imperium he was forced to leave behind? How does he go about interacting with it? How does he go about improving it or fixing it? Or is that even possible? And what is the emotional and mental damage that it will do to him? Because a lot of people tend to forget Primarchs are still human at the end of the day. Yes, they are incredible. They are demigods of war. But if Horus could be broken by a few politicians being fucking idiots in front of him, dear God, like, Gulliman has proven that Horus just was not a good choice for anything. Because, like, he's sitting here, like, just dealing with way worse shit than Horus had to deal with. And he's just like, I'm about ready to start murdering some motherfuckers. Which he's already done. Like, he's had people killed because they're so inept and incompetent. And, like, back in 30k, Gulliman would never do that. He actually shames his other brothers for doing that, and now he's having to do it. And you can see, like, how much that's, like, wearing him down. That's what makes it interesting. Then we have the Lion, Son of the Forest. Lionel Johnson, when you read his story through the Horus Heresy, you are seeing a man who justifies his actions by the, like, justifies the means by the ends. Like, I killed the enemy, why are you bitching at me? I got Conrad Kurz, why do you care if I nuked a mountain? It's that kind of behavior. And you're seeing, and not only are you seeing the consequences of his actions, you, like, he now gets to see the consequences of those actions. We, like, by the end of the Horus Heresy, Lionel Johnson has fully realized that he was kind of a dickhead. Like, genuinely, his officers are terrified of him. His legion is just paranoid. They're all paranoid as he is, and he just realized, like, oh, I fucked up bad. I fucked up real bad. Because he doesn't know how to explain himself. He's not a social person. He is incredibly antisocial. He is incredibly introverted compared to his brothers. Like, you think you think Corvus Corax is introverted? Nah, blood. He's still willing to communicate. Like, Lionel Johnson would just shut a conversation down if it wasn't about tactics. And, like, if you dared question him, it was the sword. Like, you got fucking punched. Or stabbed. Or shot. And with that paranoia, like, he handed down to his sons, like, he's seeing that now in Modern 40K, what it did to them. And because in Modern 40K, all the Dark Angels are mini Lionel Johnsons in personality. The only
also the paranoia of the Imperium in general as well.
Yeah.
But also there's also the aspect as well, which I think is important with the Lion as well, is from an out of universe perspective, is two things had happened. They had clearly run out of stories to tell with the Dark Angels, because they were starting to tell the same story over and over again.
Hey guys, let's bring Caliban back.
But like there's a member of the Fallen, we're hunting for the Fallen, this is what we do. But also the Dark Angels, their whole thing was, what was this dark secret that they had that no one knew about? That what could be worse than what the Traitor Primarchs did? Because that was the whole thing. It was like, it was worse than what anyone else had done, and they had to keep it secret. And like, it was rumored that it was whatever it was. And I actually quite like what they did with it, which is they basically revealed that what it actually was is that some of them fell to chaos. Some of them sided essentially against the Imperium. And you sort of read that, and you read that in the aftermath of the Heresy books, and you're like, well, big whoop, literally half the Imperial military sided against the Imperium.
There were confirmed Ultramarines and Imperial Fists that did that.
Yeah. But like, the reason it works then for them is because it plays back into the whole Catholic guilt thing of like, no, this isn't actually a big deal. Like, but then the problem is that doesn't work as a motivating factor in 40k once we've read the Horus Heresy books and we know that that's the case. Once you know the answer, the mystery doesn't work.
Yeah. And
so they need to be given a new purpose.
And that purpose is now trying to rebuild and trying to either see if they can overcome this massive character flaw, or if they're doomed to repeat it. Which, with 40k, it's probably going to be the latter answer, that they're doomed to repeat it. But it's really good to see, like, how Lionel Johnson reacts to this. Because when in Lion, Son of the Forest, he is genuinely upset that he fucked up real bad. And having your characters, like the Primarchs, do self-reflection is really good. Because Lionel Johnson doesn't have anyone to blame but himself. Because technically, yeah, the Dark Angels, whether it be the Fallen or it be the Loyalists, they're both his fault. And that is, like, when you, like, I clearly say, like, the Dark Angels books, holy fuck, can they be boring as sin in some of them. The first Dark Angels book, my god. Not a good showing. Not a good first showing. But, like, you come to understand the Fallen's perspective. Because, like, yeah, no, it feels like Lionel Johnson just abandoned us. It feels like he doesn't give a shit. And then you compare Lionel Johnson to the other Primarchs. When you look at all the other Primarchs, they all said, like, please don't touch my planet. Or, like, when it came to, like, Perturabo, oh, yeah, no, fully industrialize my planet, but he still cared about Olympia to some fucked up degree. But when it came to the Dark Angels, Lionel basically abandoned Caliban. And that was, like, one of the major arguments against him with, like, Luther and the Fallen. He abandoned us. Like, he's no leader. And, of course, like, there's a lot of other problems, like, mixed in there, but, like, it still comes back to Lionel. It all, like, all these problems that the Dark Angels face, it all comes back to Lionel. And yeah, it's very interesting to see where they're going to take him. What about Jagatai Khan or Vulcan being brought back? I would love Jagatai Khan to come back, because Jagatai Khan is genuinely... He is one of the most interesting Primarchs, because he's the one who is the rebel. Like, he's the rebel kid. And, like, not like the rebel like Corvus Corax was, where he's a freedom fighter, except not. No, Jagatai is very much like the, I'm the free spirit, fuck off.
I just want to do my own thing.
He wants to do his own thing. And
And of all the Primarchs, his opinion is the one I want to know the most about the modern Imperium.
yeah, and
I know he's gonna hate it,
but how much?
but I want his take. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Will?
Like, I was just he would just hate it. Like, that's the...
Yeah, Jagatai is a unique perspective in 40k, because unlike a lot of the other Primarchs who either, like, bent the knee or fought the Emperor, yes, Jagatai did bend the knee, but it's much more complicated than that. He didn't just bend the knee because he saw the Emperor as this great guy. No, the Emperor used verbiage that he used. He held out one hand in friendship while holding a club behind him. And Jagatai, who was very used to doing that, looked at the Emperor dead in the eye, understood how outclassed he was, and reluctantly accepted. He didn't have a grudge against the Emperor. He didn't have, like, this self-hatred about it. He wasn't tricked into it. He wasn't kidnapped into it. He chose it reluctantly because it was the only path left for him. And then, what did Jagatai Khan do? He removed himself, essentially. Yeah, I'll fight for the Imperium, woohoo, but I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna be very far fucking away from the administration. I want nothing to do with it. I have no cares or fucks in the world. He is distant because he doesn't want to be a part of it. And then, even during the Horus Heresy, he didn't side with the Imperium because, oh, the Emperor's right. No, if he had his choice, he would have sided with Horus if Horus wasn't a fucking dickhead and a hypocrite. Because...
And if he saw Horus having any chance of winning.
Yeah. Like, Jagatai is not an idiot. He's a great general, he's a good leader, but he's not full of himself. He knows exactly who he is, he knows exactly what he wants, and he doesn't like hypocrites. And he doesn't like the Emperor. He's very vocal about it. He doesn't like him. And he doesn't side with Horus because what is Horus at the end of the day? What is the heresy? It's just Horus trying to put himself on the same throne that their dad's on. Doesn't matter the reason. He's not here to liberate humanity. Jagatai would be all for that. But no, he's just the Emperor on the opposite side of the coin. It's why he doesn't side with him in the end. That and all the fucking... Don't send Mortarion to do diplomacy. Even though Horus didn't send Mortarion to talk to him. Mortarion went to talk to him, he's just like, yeah, you hate Psychers, right? To the guy that has, like, a whole council of Psychers right behind him.
And like was the other one of the three who was like pushing for the Librarius program.
Yeah, because like that's like, why are you discriminating against my men?
It's like it's like you hate Psychers. Like, yes, I hate Psychers. Me, who is best friends with Magnus.
Mortarion, you could not have, like, miscalculated even harder. But what do I expect from the guy that has Callus Typhon as his first captain?
Yeah, I'm best friends with Magnus and have a very good working relationship with. Why am I having a stroke now with what's his name? The Emperor's right-hand man.
Malkador.
Malkador. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me for some reason. Yeah, a very good working relationship with Malkador. We get along very well.
I was actually really taken aback by how well they get along. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you, like, why aren't you punching him in the face? So just like how Jagatai just stands there with like Malkador and they're just like, yep, that's a wall.
Because Malkador's not a hypocrite.
Yeah, Malkador's not a hypocrite.
Also,
Malkador is a monster, but he tells you it straight.
Oh,
well, also he's a man of the arts, which the Khan appreciates.
and the Khan still with Sanguinius and Magnus during Nicaea. Yeah, like Khan coming back would, if you're bringing the Khan back, you're giving us a Primarch with a jet bike, which cool idea, cool design. But you're bringing him back to get his opinion and basically be the guy who's right. Like, he was the guy who was always right in the room. That's essentially why he exists at that point. Like, told you this would happen, and then it's just like, you don't need to be a dick about it. I'm gonna be a dick about it. And he just laughs.
But I would honestly, I would not expect a Jagatai Khan, Vulcan, or a Dorn, or even a Korax model for many years, if at all.
And then we come to Vulcan. Vulcan already came back once in the Beast Arises series. What did he do? He showed up, was told, like, hey, could you come back? He said no. I'll be on an advisor position, but I won't be leader of the Imperium, because Vulcan is not that kind of person. And then he gives vague advice, at best.
Calls the High Lords and the Custodians idiots.
Which, to be fair, they were.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, for very different reasons, though.
Oh, yeah, very different reasons. And then he fucks off by pushing the beast, one of the beasts, into a fusion reactor.
Yeah. Possibly killing himself in the process.
We don't know if he still had his perpetuality. It's left up entirely in the air. Could he come back? Probably. He's probably going to be no different than how he was in the Horus Heresy and the Beast Arises, which is, I believe in the good faith of humanity. I believe in the better parts of humanity.
Good for you, buddy.
Good for you, buddy. If I wanted a Superman analogy, I'd go somewhere else. Would it be cool to have Big Hammer Boy back? Probably, but
also, like, he came back in the Beast series, and if people online haven't read the Heresy but just know it from memes, no one has read the Beast series and just knows it from memes or lore videos.
Yeah.
Like, those books are not popular. I'm sorry. They're, whatever people think about them, like, they are completely overshadowed by the fact that they were still trying to wrap up the Heresy at the time.
It also doesn't help that, like, a lot of the books just aren't good.
Oh, yeah. I read the first book and did not like it.
It's really contrived.
Also, the war name, Slaughter. I just like, dude, did a 13-year-old write this?
Like, if like, Workshop is blatantly seeding models into novels and into, like, lore for things that they're going to do going forward.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I
hope he does it, because I want some books about them dealing with the Wolfen.
You essentially want the Space Wolves in modern 40k dealing with the fallout.
Yeah.
Like, the fallout of the Dark Angels attacking Fenris, the fallout of the 13th Company coming back, and essentially, like, Ragnar Blackmane versus Gazgul.
Yeah, I want that.
That's like a big plot that's the big plot going forward as well, which people... I'm like... people's whole thing is like, oh, they should bring back Yarrick. It's like Gaz has moved on. He's fighting Ragnar now.
Yeah, he's found his new boyfriend.
I mean, to be fair, that is entirely because they weren't going to make a Yarrick model, and they had a Ragnar model, so the new toys have to fight.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like,
I do like the idea that Gazgul and Ragnar fight sexual, just like Cell and fucking Goku. Yeah, whip out your power claw, Gazzy. I want to feel it. Now you're speaking my language.
So let me see your frost blade. I want to feel it penetrate me.
but also there's more interesting characters I'd love to see introduced to 40k than Primarchs.
Yeah, we got plenty of other like named characters in 40k that would be a lot more interesting.
I mean, like, if you want a massive model that would be like ridiculous, give me a new version of Karamazov. That'd be sweet.
I want to know more about Creed and her dealing with her father's death.
Ooh, that's a
The new
good
book
one.
of that's apparently really good. The new novel of that's apparently really good for that. Like,
Yeah.
There's a sequel to that. There's a sequel to that as well that's just come out.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
The book basically, her first book is essentially her becoming Castellan of Creed, like Castellan of completely through Creed, Castellan Creed under the bus. Like he's seen.
But they
as
labeled him a traitor, didn't they?
Not a traitor, a failure, which is worse.
A failure. There we go. Yeah.
He's a failure, even
I mean,
though like
he did.
he did fail.
I mean, what was
but-
he supposed to do though?
Yeah, it's
It was impossible, but he still failed.
Yeah.
Like,
it's completely unfair, and since she's his daughter, even though like she's a bastard, it doesn't matter. You are like that black stain follows her throughout the book. Like the Cadians like stare at her with venom, and she has to earn it. Like she earns every fucking inch in the book.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go find it and read it.
And it's
I
not
really like
like
that.
it's not like contrived. No, she actually gets pushback, and she's like, "If you don't do it this way, you're going to fucking die." And she just
also
gets
the
proven right.
the Mirrorlens ones are also really good.
Oh yeah.
Who wrote it? If you know off the top of your head. I mean, I'm gonna read it anyways.
From Jude Reed.
I don't think I've read any of their books.
She does very good work. She's wrote the Morven Vol book. She wrote for the Black Library Celebration 2023. She wrote for the Vorbis Conspiracy.
I read
She's a good
that.
writer.
Okay, that's why I know the name.
Yeah, she's really good. She wrote a lot of the 40k horror series.
Oh, I'm gonna love it then.
Yeah, no, she's like a really good horror writer.
40k doesn't do horror very well, but when it gets it right, it gets it right.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like Ursula Creed earns every fucking inch in her book. And it's not pleasant. Can we get Trazen back, please? Can we have like a Trazen Orican model pair?
God, I would
the-
love that.
the-
Special ability to just
Talking about Zurius, what are you talking about?
who
Are you asking Darius?
was mocking.
And then like it was explained to him, and then he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Because this is the new
Big shout
Lionel who doesn't just like lash out with his sword first chance he gets.
Oh yeah, if this was 30k Lionel, he would have murdered.
Perspective and like able to reason things out. The Primarchs are when they don't have an incredibly powerful psyker in their brain driving them to do the one assigned role he has for them.
Well, also 10,000
Sorry,
years
pet
alone
theory.
with nothing. Well, also 10,000 years alone with nothing but your thoughts will do that.
I would love to see the trial between
I mean,
Traza and Orican animated. In a Phoenix Wright
Yeah.
style. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Fuck, I love that scene so much.
Oh my god.
Uh,
I want a Phoenix Wright game, but with orcs.
So, for those that don't know,
Phoenix, right?
it pulls double duty of not only deepening the characters of Trazen and Orican, it shows us how the court system for the Necrons work. And it's genuinely hilarious.
Very weird.
Very weird, very hilarious. Essentially, like, it's a council with a judge is the best way to put it. Like, there's like a tribune of like 4 council members or 5 council members, and then there's like a high judge on top of them. And essentially, like,
It's very Roman.
It's very Roman, yeah. And in the book, essentially, Orican and Trazen are arguing over like who has the right to go to this planet and like enter this vault, kind of a thing. And it is genuinely like one of the funniest parts of the book, because Orican's sitting there with like this big fucking shit-eating grin the entire time, because he's just like, yeah, no, I've got Trazen now. Yeah, Trazen, why did you not help that world, like that tomb world, against like this calamity that was coming? Like, why didn't you help them? Why did you just steal a fucking map, you dick? Because, like, apparently the Necrons really do actually give a shit about their tomb worlds. They actually do give a shit about each other's tomb worlds. And Trazen's just like, well, you see, I was trying to save their culture, because I didn't have enough time to save, like, help them. That kind of thing. And then Trazen does pull an Ace Attorney thing, where, he says, I saw you doing it. Like, I foresaw that you would do it, and you did do it. And then Trazen picks up on the I foresaw it. And he turns it right back around. And he's like, oh, you foresaw me doing the action. Which means that you foresaw the death of the world. So here's a better question, asshole.
Why didn't you do anything?
Why didn't you do anything, dick? And then Orican's just like, Ryu! like, it's so funny watching, a time traveler fight an archivist. It is genuinely so fucking funny, especially in a court setting.
How many times does he reset?
I think he resets
I
like
can't
3
remember.
times. He resets 3 times.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first time was Trazen catching him on that one. The second time was he gets caught up in a lie. And, like, Trazen's just like, you fucking used a time machine, you dickhead!
Yeah.
And then he snaps and does a time over again, and essentially makes it so that way the court hearing doesn't end in Trazen's favor, but it doesn't end in his favor either. Because, like, Orican wanted, like, sole possession of the planet, and then he's basically told, like, oh, since you made the argument that it's for everyone's best interest, the planet belongs to the Necrons. And he's just like, okay, not the outcome I wanted, but that's fine, that's fine. And then, like, it actually does double duty as well with, apparently they can turn off, the ability to reanimate. Like, there's a special, like, Necron Executioner who can just stop you from reanimating. So, like, death is death. And, like, they threaten them with that later on in the book. And it's like, it doesn't matter, like, what Trazen or Orican tried to do, because, like, if Orican tried to turn back time and change things, Trazen would just use his special cloak, which now we know why he has that cloak. Oop, sorry.
You're still here.
Yeah, no, I disconnected for a second there on my stream. That's weird.
Yeah.
But basically, like, Necron Court tells them, stop being shitheads or we'll, like, turn off your ability to come back. Death means death. And they're both like, I don't like that. Okay, we'll play nice. Sorry, I went on a tangent there.
You're good.
Also, fun fact, the writer of that, Robert Rath, is also the lead writer for the Extra History series on YouTube.
Ooh. Ooh. Good job, Robert. Very good for you.
Thank you.
Oh, fuck, I found this. Primarch's feats of craftsmanship. Vulcan crafted the Talisman of the Seven Hammers, able to destroy Terra in a blast. Created the Spear of Vulcan, able to melt ceramite. Believed to have created the Iron Dragon, a dreadnought able to withstand orbital weapons. Which one is this? This isn't created the Anti-Cathera era, a device that allows humans to navigate the warp without psychic powers. He also designed and created... Oh, Perturabo. Designed and created the Iron Circle, his robotic bodyguards. Ferrus Manus. Created Fireblade, used by Fulgrim before his corruption. Illuminarium, still used by Lorgar. And his own armor, the Medusan Carapace. Fulgrim. Created Forgebreaker, the hammer utilized by Ferrus Manus. Conrad Kurz handmade a lot of very tasteful tapestries. And then Angron created a new sword, Seminarius, by beating a Slaneshi demon with an unworked rod of iron until he made a sword out of it. Good shit. Oh, am I disconnected from Discord too?
No, you're here.
Okay, good to know. Fuck, that's funny. Guys, the Primarchs are incredible blacksmiths. I mean, look at Angron. He beat the shit out of a demon into a sword. I'd say that you beat the shit out of somebody that annoyed the crap. Not many, I'd reckon. Probably.
Maybe.
Shit's fucked up, isn't it? Alright. If no one has any other questions, I'm seeing that, like, my connection is, like, jumping from, like, good to bad. So I guess, like...
Yeah, your internet's dying.
Yeah, I think it's a good point to stop as well. Thank you all so much for coming. This was... I always enjoy, like, these more chill nights, where, like, we just shoot the shit and talk. I hope to, like, bring on more, other creators as well, like Viara and Spee, and talk about, like, stuff they enjoy, and, like, other creators and stuff, because it's always just fun to talk. But I also enjoy just chilling with the boys, you know? Chilling with Will, chilling with TCOM. Sometimes Shadow when he's not busy, that kind of thing. You know, it's just fun to talk about, like, the fucking stupid-ass tabletop games that we love. But yeah, like,
The Africa campaign, which takes about 1,500 hours to complete.
So yeah,
Yeah, I still haven't got to bend your ear about BattleTech yet.
yeah, no, I'm studying a thing for, Lasgar Lockman. Anyway, you all have a fantastic night, and so is it just me or is there no sound? No, it's my connection. It's my connection. Bye, boss. Yeah, no, it's completely cut off my sound.
Yeah, that sucks.
I need to make dinner.